Welcome to the complete professional chapter on ChatGPT for daily work. This extended version contains additional ready-to-use prompts, a full step-by-step use case, technical depth, and clear security practices so you can apply the material with confidence. ChatGPT is a large language model. It predicts the next token based on the context you provide. It has no independent memory of your company, your clients, or your internal processes unless you supply that information in the current conversation or store it in custom instructions. Therefore, every professional result depends on the quality of the prompt. The recommended structure contains 5 elements. Role defines the expertise the model should adopt. Context supplies the necessary background. Objective states the exact deliverable. Constraints set tone, length, style, and exclusions. Format dictates how the answer should be organized. When all 5 elements are present, the model has far less room for unhelpful interpretation. Here are the first group of ready-to-use prompts. Prompt 1, Client Email Response. Act as a professional account manager. Rewrite the following client message into a clear, calm, and constructive reply. Acknowledge the concern, accept appropriate responsibility if warranted, propose one concrete next step with a realistic timeline, and close with an open question. Maintain a respectful and confident tone. Do not overpromise. Prompt 2, Meeting Summary. Convert the following raw notes into a professional summary. Use these exact headings: decisions made, action items with owner and deadline, open questions, and focus for next meeting. Keep the language concise and neutral. Prompt 3, Content Ideas. Generate 10 content ideas for a consultant who helps mid-sized companies adopt AI tools. For each idea, provide a working title, the primary business angle, a strong opening sentence, and a suggested call to action. Emphasize measurable outcomes. Prompt 4, Weekly Status Report. Draft a concise weekly update for a manager. Structure it with 4 sections: key results this week, relevant metrics, obstacles and current mitigations, priorities for next week. Tone should be factual and forward-looking. Prompt 5, Option Evaluation. Act as a neutral analyst. Evaluate the given options against the stated criteria. Present the evaluation in a simple table, then provide a short recommendation paragraph. These 5 prompts cover the most frequent daily communication and analysis tasks. Now, 4 additional prompts that extend the range of professional use. Prompt 6, Difficult Conversation Preparation. Act as an experienced people manager. Prepare talking points for a constructive feedback conversation. Include the specific behavior to address, the business impact, 2 concrete examples, suggested respectful phrasing, and 2 questions that invite the other person's perspective. Keep the tone firm but supportive. Prompt 7, Project Brief. Draft a clear 1-page project brief covering objective, background, scope, out-of-scope items, key deliverables, success criteria, main risks, and proposed timeline. Use concise language suitable for busy stakeholders. Prompt 8, Technical Explanation for non-technical audience. Rewrite the following technical text so that a non-technical manager can understand it in under 2 minutes. Remove jargon, use short sentences, and end with the practical business implication. Prompt 9, Risk Identification. From the following list of issues, generate a simple risk register. For each item, provide risk description, potential impact, likelihood, and 1 practical mitigation. Present the result as a clean table. Complete step-by-step use case. Client proposal follow-up email after a meeting. Step 1, collect the raw notes and any commitments made during the meeting. Step 2, write a full 5-element prompt that defines the role as senior account manager, supplies the meeting context, states the objective of producing a clear follow-up email, sets professional constraints, and requests email format. Step 3, generate the first draft. Step 4, review for accuracy and tone, then request specific refinements such as shorten a paragraph or make the next steps more explicit. Step 5, perform a final human check of facts, names, and dates before sending. This sequence turns a lengthy drafting task into a short review task while maintaining quality control. Important limits and security practices. The model has a finite context window. Long conversations or large pasted documents can cause earlier instructions to be truncated. For sensitive or lengthy material, work in focused sections. Never paste confidential personal data, passwords, API keys, or legally privileged information into a public model. Prefer anonymized or synthetic examples when testing prompts. Always verify factual claims, numbers, and recommendations. The model can generate plausible but incorrect statements. Final responsibility for accuracy remains with the human user. Use custom instructions for standing rules, but never place secrets there. Prefer environment variables or a secure vault for credentials when calling the API. When integrating the API into internal tools, implement proper authentication, rate limit handling, logging where policy allows, and human review for high-stakes outputs. These practices protect both productivity and risk control. Closing exercise. Select one real client or internal communication task. Apply the full 5-element structure plus one refinement pass. Compare the time required with writing from scratch. This single measurement will confirm the practical value of the method. This concludes the complete ChatGPT chapter. The next lesson examines Claude, with particular focus on complex reasoning and the analysis of long documents. Apply the prompts, the step-by-step process, and the security practices presented here. Then continue to the following chapter when ready. Thank you for your attention. Let us reinforce the method with a short additional section on iteration and quality control. After receiving the first response, treat it as a working draft. Useful refinement instructions include: make this 30% shorter, rewrite in a more formal register, remove any speculative language, add a concrete example, or restructure the answer under clearer headings. 2 or 3 short refinement passes usually produce a result that requires only light human editing. When the task involves numbers, names, dates, or external facts, always cross-check the output against source documents. The model does not retrieve live data unless connected to tools, and it can invent plausible details. For recurring tasks, save the best-performing prompts in a personal library. Over time, this library becomes a significant productivity asset. A final practical recommendation: start with low-stakes tasks such as internal summaries or idea generation. Once you are comfortable with the structure and the refinement process, move to client-facing or decision support work, always keeping a human review step before anything is sent or published. These habits turn ChatGPT from an occasional convenience into a reliable part of professional workflow. You now have a complete set of prompts, a full step-by-step process, technical notes, and security practices. Apply them consistently. The next chapter will examine Claude and its strengths with complex reasoning and long documents. Thank you for your attention and for the time you have invested in this material. Let us now focus on one of the most important professional habits when working with ChatGPT: iteration. The first response should almost always be treated as a draft. High-quality professional output is rarely obtained in a single pass. Instead, the model is most effective when you guide it through successive refinements. Useful follow-up instructions include the following: make this 30% shorter, rewrite in a more formal register, add a concrete example from the logistics sector, remove any speculative or uncertain language, restructure the answer under clearer headings, replace passive constructions with active voice, ensure every recommendation includes an owner and a realistic timeline. A practical iteration sequence for an important email or report might look like this. First, generate the initial draft using a complete 5-element prompt. Second, request a reduction in length while preserving all key points. Third, ask for a tone adjustment if the register is not yet appropriate. Fourth, request the addition of one specific example or data point. Fifth, perform a final human review of facts, names, and numbers. Knowing when to stop iterating is equally important. Once the content is accurate, the tone is correct, and only minor polishing remains, further automated changes often add little value and can introduce new inconsistencies. At that point, the human editor should take over. Measuring the number of refinement passes required is a useful diagnostic. If you consistently need more than 3 or 4 iterations, the original prompt is probably underspecified. Strengthening the role, context, constraints, or format sections usually reduces the need for later corrections. Over time, the most effective prompts and the most useful refinement instructions should be saved in a personal library. This library becomes a reusable professional asset that compounds in value. Iteration is not a sign of failure. It is the normal and expected way to convert a capable language model into a reliable contributor to professional work.